it snowed already. Oh my goodness. I know it's chilly. Oh, you're up in Connecticut. Yes, I grew up in Massachusetts, so very familiar with that. Um, Wonderful. So yes, that's one of the things that's really fun about these meditations is we've got people from all over. So feel free to put in the comments where you're tuning in from. Um, so mindfulness meditation, just taking these moments to mindfully recenter are so important. And it's been really interesting leading these meditations over the last few months because there have been quite a few times where I've gone, oh, everything's just so crazy right here now, in my own personal life. Like, do I have time? And my one of my favorite sayings is that you don't have time not to meditate. So, especially when everything is chaotic, those are the most important times to tune in. And this is a shorter practice. We're only, spending 30 minutes. North Carolina, 34 degrees. Yes, you're part of our nice cold swap here. Um, Ooh, Nebraska. We've got a nice mix all around the US today. All right, so everybody's settling in. I always like to do a few little wiggles to really bring my focus into my body. And so this is where we start to notice points of contact, noticing where your body is making contact with whatever you're seated on, noticing if there's any way that you can shift to make yourself more comfortable. Taking a few moments to breathe, to notice the sensations of your breath. And if there's something behind your back, perhaps leaning against the wall or the back of the chair, maybe noticing as you breathe if you can feel the expansion of your chest extend to your back, to that point of connection. Allowing your hands to rest softly wherever is most comfortable. Mine often end up in my lap, feeling that gentle weight of my arms resting on my thighs. And as your hands and arms rest here, allowing your shoulders also to rest. Beginning to scan through your body, noticing any points of tension and checking in with whether you're able to soften. We aren't demanding softening from our bodies. We're simply asking, can my calf muscle soften here? Do I need to adjust my foot? Oftentimes, we will be braced and tensed against whatever we're sitting on. And so, reminding yourself that wherever you are can support your full weight. following the rhythm of your breath. Our breath is really the gateway to this mindful awareness in our bodies. Noticing these sensations, allowing each exhale to soften and settle us into this space. And as we continue to explore this softening in our physical bodies, beginning to invite that same gentle invitation to soften to our mind, to your thoughts. What does it look like to give yourself permission to be fully present in this moment? What if you could notice your thoughts the same way you notice clouds drifting by in the sky? Letting them be there and letting them leave. And we'll spend a few more minutes here, just noticing our thoughts. And sometimes our thoughts can feel overwhelming. So you're always welcome to return to noticing your breath, to noticing your physical body. I'd like to continue sensing into our bodies from a slightly different standpoint. This comes from a book on yoga nidra or yogic sleep, and is one of the exercises preparing for yoga nidra. So, for this practice, I invite you to have your eyes open. Of course, always a choice. And again, checking in with your jaw, softening your jaw, allowing your shoulders, arms, torso, and legs to relax. Welcoming the environment around you as you allow your senses to open to the sounds and perceptions around you. Often we will close our eyes to turn inward, to reduce distraction. But can we experience this turning inward with eyes open in the presence of distraction? Notice some of the objects around you in your immediate space, as well as your arms, torso, and legs. Note how your senses and mind are working together here to perceive the world around you as made up of separate objects. Perhaps your body also appears as separate from the objects around you. Now I invite you to close your eyes and sense your body. Notice how your body is actually a field of sensation that is without a defined border or boundary, a continuation of sensation that extends inwardly and outwardly in all directions. With your eyes still closed, sense the objects around you. Notice how they too don't have defined borders, how each one is a field of sensation, and how these sensations interact. Perhaps blinking your eyes open again as you continue experiencing yourself and the objects around you as fields of sensation. Take your time here, sensing rather than thinking. Allow the field that is your body to begin to blend with the fields of the objects around you. Allowing everything to blend as one field of sensation. Perhaps inviting in some gentle movement. I recommend this side to side sway as you return to these points of connection between your body and the objects around you. Perhaps wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe beginning to move your arms and legs. As you continue to sense your body and the objects around you in this blended and continuous field of sensation. Feel how this practice affects your state of relaxation. As you begin to shift back into more awareness. Perhaps noticing how the sensations you tuned into at the beginning of our meditation have changed or shifted. I'm trying not to label this change in sensations as better or worse or good or bad. Just noticing. Noticing whatever there is to be noticed. As our final exercise, I would like to share a short poem for reflection. I'll recite it 3 times, pausing between each repetition, allowing the words to flow over you, perhaps noticing what it elicits in you, what direction your mind takes with these words. Water. Water is flexible enough to fit any vessel. Still, it has the power to go through rock. Water. Water is flexible enough to fit any vessel. Still, it has the power to go through rock. Water. Water is flexible enough to fit any vessel. Still, it has the power to go through rock. I have been keeping that poem in mind a lot recently, reflecting on those properties of water, reflecting on how we define strength. Water can be soft, gently flowing. Water can be powerful. How can we embody that duality, flexibility, and force, being able to shift between the two, and more importantly, to recognize that there is no shifting, that we are both at all times. Option to bring your palms together at your heart space by bringing the right and left palm together along the midline of our bodies. We also acknowledge these opposites coming together, But of course, even the right and left side of our bodies are still body. Hmm. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning for practice. I like to leave the last couple minutes if there's any questions or thoughts or anyone would like to share in the comments. We did three different practices. The first two are quite similar, slightly different nuance. The poem was a little bit different, but um, every so often I'll be inspired by different things. So the next two Wednesdays, I'll be live at the same time. Next week, we'll be focused on the new moon. And then the following week will be mindfulness like today. So I also have quite a few guided meditations free on my Insight Timer page. So if you're not already following me, very much appreciate it. 5-star reviews of my meditations are a great way to support me. That's absolutely free. And of course, if you're able to give a monetary donation, that's always very warmly appreciated. The books that I referenced, the second exercise was from the I Rest program for healing PTSD. It's based in Yoga Nidra, and it's just different techniques for connecting with sensation, for tuning in. And the poem is actually an example of waka poetry. So it's a book of 125 waka poetry of the Meiji Emperor, and these are poems that are used in the system of Reiki um, for reflection. Wonderful. So we had over 30 people come and go over the course of our meditation. So thank you all so much for joining in, for bringing your energy. Um, I know I mentioned at the beginning that it's been a little chaotic, and I had one of those, oh, do I really have time for this? Um, and the external circumstances have not changed, but I feel much more grounded, and I hope that you all feel that same grounded, centered um, benefit because meditation is amazing. Oh, wonderful. Um, yes, I love the feeling, the sensations, and I'm very much a somatic, touchy person. So it's good to know that you appreciate that. I tend to skew towards that more than the visualizations because I'm not really a visualization person either. Thank you, Christy. All right, wonderful. I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday, a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see many of you back here next week, same time. Take good care.